hope you're fine. Today we're gonna talk about Chapter 5, Consciousness. So we're gonna talk about, first of all, the biofeedback and its relation with the consciousness. I have here the study of consciousness, sleep and dreams, altered states of consciousness, drugs and consciousness, and applying what you have learned as an experiment. So I have here a case study which is called biofeedback. Biofeedback, it's here, has shed some light on the nature of consciousness. What's biofeedback? It's a system or a technique for monitoring, feeding back information about certain biological process. So this is here like a system or a technique, as I told you, for feeding back information about or a certain biological process that happened to your body. Biofeed monitors show what? Show, for example, when a person's heart rate is slower than the normal one. How can we use the biofeedback? It's a process. We can use it for people to cure them of some involuntary behaviors. Involuntary, how can we control the involuntary behaviors? So I have here the biofeedback helps people see how voluntary behavior we can control, the involuntary behavior that we can't control by using the voluntary behavior. So I will give you now a short video to see what I'm talking about. The biofeedback is used to treat what? To treat the high blood pressure, the seizures, and the migraine, headaches, and the digestive disorders. Imagine that we have a child which have some digestive disorders. He can't go to the bathroom to poo, for example. So he has like constipation. So the biofeedback, you know that this system can heal his problem in a very easy way. Let's see a short here video for this, and then we will come back.
Hi, my name is Carrie Dowds. I'm one of the nurses in the Susie and Scott Lustgarten Center for GI Motility at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. This is an information video for parents and caregivers. At the end of this video, if you feel it is appropriate for your child to watch, we suggest that you sit down with your child and view it together.
Let's see it together.
Even though everyone has bowel movements, it's not always easy. Our bodies make stool all the time, and our stomach and bottom muscles need to work together to get the stool out. Sometimes these muscles get out of sync. Biofeedback is a fun and non-invasive way to help your child see how their muscles are working together. With practice, your child can learn to get the muscles coordinated again. Now let's see this in action. Hi Kieran, how are you? Good. My name is Carrie. I'm one of the nurses in the endoscopy suite. I'm here to teach you about biofeedback. These sessions take about 10 to 15 minutes and will occur weekly to every other week. During the first session, a nurse will explain to you and your child about the equipment and how it works, what muscles are used when trying to have a bowel movement, and the proper sitting technique when having a bowel movement. They will also ask about your child's toileting and stooling patterns at home. Okay? So you know everyone has to poop, right? But sometimes it's hard to poop because you have to use the right muscles. You have to use your belly muscles and your bottom muscles. So this is a special game that we use to see what muscles we are using when we're trying to poop. All it entails are 6 really small stickers. Nothing is going inside of you. We have 3 stickers that are going to go on your belly. 2 stickers are going to go on your bottom. Nothing is inside. It's just going to go right kind of next to where the poop comes out. And then the last sticker is going to go on your leg. And these stickers are connected to this machine. And as you're pushing, as if you're trying to poop, you're going to look up here and you're going to see a fish and bubbles. And you're going to try to get the fish to eat the bubbles. Do you have any questions? Okay. Your child will sit on a special chair called a commode, and we will ask them to bear down as if they are having a bowel movement. As your child does this, they will be looking at a computer screen. The act of pushing or squeezing will cause an object on the screen to move. So you see this fish? This fish is controlled by your belly. So what I want you to do is the next time these pink bubbles come around, I want you to push like you're trying to poop. Okay, so during this period you're resting, and then as soon as you see these pink bubbles, as soon as your fish gets right up to it, I want you to push. Okay, ready? And push. Push, 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 push. Keep pushing. These visual and auditory cues will help your child learn which muscles they are using to have a belly. During subsequent sessions, the nurse will reinforce this education and provide encouragement to your child. As the sessions continue, the nurse will begin to take away the visual and auditory cues to mimic the home setting. They will also continue to evaluate your child's progress at home. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any more questions, please contact your physician.
So, as we see here, what is the biofeedback? And this is very important, not just for the digestive disorders, but also for the headaches, the seizures, the high blood pressure, and also for the person's low heart rate. So what do you think, guys? How can people learn to control involuntary behavior? This is a good question. If you could use biofeedback to control an involuntary behavior, what would it be? What do you think? So I have here this graph. Let's see this graph. This graph shows the brainwave activity of a young woman receiving biofeedback therapy. Yoga is used as a technique to treat physical problems. We know that we can use yoga like a technique here to treat some physical problems in our, and we can use also here this yoga, this kind. The study of section 1, let's talk about here the study of consciousness. Consciousness, like what? Like intelligence, emotions, is a construct. So the consciousness is what is a construct. That's what it's a concept that cannot be seen or touched or measured directly. So we are talking here about what? We are talking here about like emotion, like intelligence. So it can't be measured directly and can't be touched. So this is called construct also. Consciousness has a number of different meanings, like including the sensory awareness, the awareness, direct inner awareness, and a sense of self. So there are several here levels of consciousness, including what? The pre-conscious, the unconscious, the non-conscious. So, and we're gonna talk about this. So the main idea here, when I talk about consciousness, I'm talking about what? The awareness of things that are both inside and outside of ourselves, is an elusive but essential subject of study for the psychologists. We have some reading focus. We have to focus on those points. Why is consciousness a psychological construct? What are the general meanings of consciousness? What distinguishes the different levels of consciousness from full conscious awareness that we are going to talk about now? What are you aware of right now? What are you aware when you see this stream of consciousness? What you are aware of this? Consciousness as a construct. We said that consciousness means the awareness of things that are both inside and outside ourselves. Psychologists here have not always thought that consciousness should be a part of the study of psychology. Do you know that? Because they think that it's here inside ourselves and can be seen. So psychologists have not always thought that the consciousness should be a part of the study, because here what? Because it cannot be seen, touched, or measured directly. So some other psychologists believe that consciousness can be studied scientifically. So we have here two kinds of psychologists. We have here consciousness is known by its effect on behavior. So how can we measure that? Measure it here we can measure it here by the effects on behavior. So, why do some psychologists think consciousness can be studied? Because here it can be linked by the measurable behaviors such as talking and with brain waves. Okay, meanings of consciousness: consciousness as sensory awareness, and we have also consciousness as direct inner awareness. When I talk about here the consciousness as sensory awareness, one meaning of consciousness is what? Sensory awareness of the environment around me. So, this meaning of consciousness is being aware of things outside of yourself. So, when I say it's the awareness, sensory awareness, I'm talking about the awareness outside me. Outside me here, I'm talking about here the environment. Focusing on a particular stimulus is referred to selective attention. And we will talk about this. Consciousness as direct inner awareness. When I'm talking about inner awareness, I'm talking about my what? My feelings. So, is when are conscious of thoughts, images, in emotions, memories, or abstract concepts inside myself. So, this meaning of consciousness is being aware of things that it's inside yourself. We know now the difference between them. Consciousness as sense of self. Consciousness as sense of self means what? That we are aware of ourselves and our existence. Okay, so sense of self, I know that I'm here, I exist here, and I know myself. I'm aware of myself and that I exist in the world. Only when young children grow older do they begin to understand that they are unique individuals, separate from other people like their parents and from their surroundings. So here, when people or children getting bigger and bigger, they grow bigger and bigger, so they find themselves that they are unique individuals and they are separate from their parents or from other friends. The question comes here like identify what are the three uses of the term consciousness. We know that it referred to sensory awareness, direct inner awareness, and to conscious as sense of self. Okay, different levels of consciousness: the pre-consciousness level and the unconsciousness level, the non-conscious level, and the altered, and then we'll talk about the altered states of consciousness. So the pre-conscious level, what does it mean? It's thought here is stored knowledge, the stored knowledge that's retrievable into conscious awareness. What are you talking about? So, when I talk about the pre-conscious, it's like what here? What's the stored knowledge here in my mind? So, this is like, let's see together, this is like here the memories, as we see here, the memories and the stored knowledge in our minds. Okay, so this is what the pre-conscious level. What about the conscious level? The conscious level here, this one, the thoughts that I think about now and the perceptions, what I predict. What about the unconscious level? The unconscious level, like what? The selfish needs, the violent motives, the immoral urges, the fears, shameful experience, unexpected desires, irrational wishes. So, when I talk about here the unconscious level, I'm talking about information stored in the unconscious level, which is unavailable to awareness under most circumstances. And if you want to bring them down to your mind, you will. Like memories, if I want to remember something, I can remember this. Okay. What about the non-conscious level? The non-conscious level refers to bodily process such as the growing of hair, of which we are not aware, the growing of your nails, you are not aware of that. So this is the non-conscious level. And here I will talk about what? Altered states of consciousness. In altered states of consciousness, a person's sense of self or sense of the world change. Like what? Like sleeping and hypnosis. Here we know Freud. To Freud, consciousness, he's a psychologist, is like an iceberg as shown. Many memories, impulses, and feelings exist where below the level of conscious awareness. The question comes like this: on what level did Freud place irrational wishes? Let's see. Where is the irrational levels? Here we have, okay, irrational wishes. Here under what? The unconscious level. So here for checking that we understood or not, what are Freud's three levels of consciousness? Don't forget this: pre-conscious, unconscious, and consciousness. Okay. Thank you for listening. This is for section 1. I hope you understood this lesson very well. Please watch the video and ask if you want to ask me anything. Please send it on SCL or at school. Thank you, my dear students. Bye bye.